You ever wonder what farm life is like in northern Alberta? I'm Jessica, meet my husband Thomas, and our dog Ellie, and we'll take you through a day in our lives. Let's go! Alright, just getting the next bin ready for, I think we're doing peas in this bin. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure we're putting peas in this bin. It sure beats having that plastic tub that you have to make sure you don't leave out and it cracks and... So in some spots of the yard, we can't actually reach the dump pan for the auger. So we have to put in this secondary dump pan that the trucks drive over, and all it does is move the grain from the actual roadway, which is where it currently is, into the red dump pan that's attached to our big auger that goes into the big bins. Like 20, they're between 20 and 25,000 bushels, I think. Ellie, are you helping today? So we go, use the blocks to drop it. The good old versatile tractor comes in handy for everything. So here we go. Pan set up. So this is where the semis come from. They drive through here, drive over this pan instead of the red one. And then they keep going that way and do the loop around the yard and back out there. All right, once you have all your stuff in place, hook up your hydraulic lines. So here we go. He has to check all of the hydraulic lines, make sure that they work, make sure that they're attached to all the right spots, which it's not looking so good right now. Right now we're just trying to figure out the hydraulic capacity of the beauty old white right now. So we can only get this pan to work at full speed with this one running half speed. So you can see this one clipping it and this one's crawling. we need a second tractor?
We'll see. You know what? That's a good idea. I'll just bring up the 8970.
And the old Versatile coming to the rescue. We can get it running the second set of hydraulics, and then we can actually move grain into speed where we will get it gone today. All right, grab the hydraulic lines off the new pan. Pop them into the old white. Nope, this is the Versatile. Success. Nothing yet. This is the part of farming that is always frustrating. It's trying to figure out how to make everything work when you have to piece it together and move things around, and you can't have one tractor set up at every bin. You gotta have move your equipment when you're switching bins around. Just get that line back on. So now we have some movement after a little bit of monkeying around. All right, he's got it going. He's got her soup dried up. It's going. All right, now that we got the timing of the gray one down, he's gonna fire up the red. He's gonna fire up the red auger. Now we'll see that we can't drop some grain. Got the red one going good. This gray one is having a hard time keeping up. And he doesn't look too impressed about it. Definitely supposed to be better than this. So Mr. Brilliant here just took all the pressure off the hydraulics, I think. Not 100% sure what he did. But his hydraulic line isn't staying revved. I don't know if it's his engine capacity or just his RPM. But now we got some movement. That'll move some peas finally. Perfect day for combining out. It's been sunny all day, a little bit of a breeze, and 21 degrees out. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but even in a long sleeve shirt, I'm kind of sweating a little bit, so that's how warm it is. We got our neighbor's machine out here, we got our 3 combines out here. We have 2 semis and a grain cart. And we are keeping that grain cart running full tilt. This field is looking awesome. actually combining more peas. This would make it our second half section, I believe. That takes us up to 640 acres worth of peas. We got a lot of peas coming in this year. We're putting them in the big, I think they're 25,000 bushel bins, but I think you can get 22,500 bushels comfortably in there. But anyway, lots of peas. So this is our green pea stand. Let's take a look. This is what our desiccated green peas looks like. So desiccated is just spraying them down so they all die and dry evenly. Makes it much easier to combine. Peas aren't something that we swath. We straight cut them, which means they go from standing to combine all in one sweep. We don't make big swaths. This is the line. So here, a little bit of a wobbly line, but that's okay. We don't have GPS units in our combines. We don't run new fancy equipment. We run some fairly old stuff actually, so a little more fixing, but that's okay. Does the job, right? There's the difference. There we have combine section. Here we have standing section. It's a great pea crop this year. Not sure what the yield is on yet, but it grew beautifully. We got 24-inch plants, maybe even taller. It's nice when they stand up like this. It makes it so much easier to combine. Now, let's take a look at what our peas look like when they're combined out. Here is standing peas, and this is what we're combining. So, green pea. Now, when we open the pod, this is what we should see. So this is an excellent example of a green pea pod. They're nice and green, they're not juicy, they're all dried down. They still have their nice green color, and that's essential to a good score, a good grade on your peas. So there we go. Nice even, there's no mold inside the shell. They're dried down, good color, uniform shape. That's what we're looking for. Combining is getting out and checking that the settings on your combine are set properly. So you have concaves inside that thrash your product around, and then you have fans that blow your product out the back. And when you're separating the grain from the chaff, sometimes it's not separating good enough, or the fans are set too high and your seeds are getting blown out the back rather than kept in the hopper of your combine. And the way you check that is getting out of your combine and crawling around on the ground. That's the only way to actually see. So let's take a look. All right, so here we are, hands and knees on the ground. What we do is we move all of the chaff around. So looking through the chaff, we look for seeds. Now, you're always going to see a little bit of seeds. It's inevitable that a couple will get out, but you shouldn't see a lot. So in the time that I've been picking, I haven't seen any yet, and that's a good sign. That means that your settings are set at an optimum level where you're not spitting peas out the back. All the peas that you spit out the back, two things. It means that you're not getting all of your product out for sale if it's sitting on the field. And number two, you have an undergrowth of peas in next year's crop. And because we rotate crops, we don't want peas growing in whatever follows peas. I can't remember, wheat or something. Flax, I don't remember. Whatever our next one is. We'll try find a field that has a lot. So here we go, looking at shells. All the shells are shelled out just like this. Not a pea in them. It's exactly what we want to see. So it looks like settings are pretty good on these machines right now. As the humidity changes and the straw gets a little tougher to combine, then you have to change your settings again because you'll see the peas start sticking in the straw more. Until then, looking pretty good. Here is an example of a spot where we would like to see a little less peas. And this is when you get out and check your combine and you see this many peas. This is when you start looking at your settings and playing with your concave, playing with the amount of stuff you're sending through the machine that's separating, like the amount of product that's separating chaff and seeds, or your fan speed. So all different things that can affect. So I'm looking here, and in this small little area, I see a pea here, and I see a pea here, and I see a pea there, and I see a pea here. So all of these peas that you see in a small area, that tells you, here's another pea, that tells you that one of the settings is off in this machine. So every couple passes, there's another pea. Every couple passes that you make, get out, take a look, especially when the humidity changes so much in a day. We have a humid morning, dries off, and we have a smoking beautiful day with a breeze all day, and now the sun sets and we get quite a bit of fog here, so more humidity in the evening. And lucky us, peas are probably one of the harder things to combine when it gets humid out. The straw gets pretty tough, so always keeping an eye on those settings. Another setting that we have to think about is how high our machine is cutting. So when you have a crop that's standing, you have to make sure that you're cutting low enough that you're getting all the peas, but high enough that you're not taking too much straw through your machine. This is an example of a spot that's cut too high and that you end up seeing a lot of product on the ground. Like this whole spot right here has been cut through, and all of these are unshelled peas yet. So there's still peas in here that need harvesting. So this is something that we try and avoid. And you just gotta learn how to run your machine. It's all about feel. We don't have auto float on ours, and the machines that do have auto float, it doesn't work the greatest. So again, old equipment problems, but once you learn the feel of how your header feels skimming around the ground, you have a nice little toggle switch, makes it really easy for changing it up. But until you learn that feel, sometimes we get a little bit of this. The other part too is some areas are a little bit greener than others and they're a little harder to combine. So in the purpose of speed and trying to get the crop off before this rain cloud comes in, thank you very much, rain. Before this rain cloud comes in, they avoid cutting some of these greener spots, just so our machines don't get plugged up and waste a bunch of time trying to unplug them. cooling off now. Dusk is settling in. Feel the humidity in the air. We're getting a little bit of fog coming in, so I can't imagine we'll be working peas over too much longer. I noticed the combines have slowed down too, but the nice thing about dusk is it's sure pretty here. It's absolutely beautiful. And every night looks like this here, unless it's pouring rain or snowing, which it snows 8 months of the year up here, so that's super cool. Isn't that lovely? Absolutely beautiful. That's a wrap on a beautiful day. Hauling all the equipment home because we are done another half section of peas. To the 3 combines rolling in the yard. Well, the sun is going down for the night, and that means it's cleanup time. So here we go, last of the combines, dump straight into the truck to put up into one of the bins. Grain cart being put away. And combines getting blown off, nice and clean. Ellie is inspecting the job as per usual. So what the boys do when they're done with these headers is they put them on a trailer essentially, so that the headers can be pulled down the road lengthwise rather than sideways. People can actually pass you then. So it clicks into place. The trailer is the black piece below. And the hitch is right there in the center. So there we go. Header and combine are separate now. That's how the headers are stored. And that's how the combines are stored. Burning the midnight oil, as they say. Wow, what another great day in the books. That's the end of our peas for 2021. We're up to 640 acres, so a full section. And we're just unloading the last Super Bee. So that's it. Boys have cleaned up all the equipment.